It's Nadja from Coal Chamber. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Oh, fantastic. So back to Hollywood, the Sunset Strip. Do you remember the first time you came out here?
To the Sunset Strip?
Yeah.
Yes, it was probably in '94, and I went to the Rainbow because I was underage, and that was the only place that would let me in with my shitty fake ID. Sorry.
Was Lemmy there or any rock stars?
No, but it was still like a bunch of like hair metal people,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, where am I?
Rock and roll hair.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Where am
Now,
I? And take me away. No.
Well, tell us where you grew up and how you got involved in music. Who are your heroes?
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Germany. That's where I was born, and I grew up in Holland, and went to school and everything in Holland. So mainly grew up in Holland, I guess. And I don't know. I like a lot of like '70s music. You know, like I like a lot of classic rock and roll. I like Leonard Skinner. You know, I like Iggy and the Stooges, David Bowie. I like some Motown stuff and some disco stuff. I really like a lot of different music,
So
Broad
common ground
variety.
was energy and hooks. You like a good
Yes,
hook,
hooks, for sure.
groove.
Groove, definitely.
Awesome. Now, how'd you
Gotta
pick up
like
the
groove.
bass? How did the bass come in your life?
Well, I started out on the drums, and I remember in high school we had a drum kit there, and I started playing on that, and I really liked it. And then I went to the punk rock squats in Holland, and I started playing with these punk rockers. They gave me some lessons, and I moved here, and then I started playing with random people that I knew that were drummers, and one of them was a drummer from Raging Slab, and later on the drummer from Tool, Danny Carey. And then I ended up buying a drum kit, and I played with a bunch of people, and then I wanted to get more into writing, and then somebody bought me a bass for my birthday, and that's how I got into playing bass.
Amazing.
I basically just translated drum rhythms to the bass and taught myself. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but it sounded all right.
Sure. Now, I know this band, Coal Chambers, obviously had a storied history and, is coming back together. Tell us about you joining this band originally. What were the circumstances and what drew you to be interested to play with Des and Nix?
Okay, let me think. Well, I've seen Meigs around Hollywood in the mid to late '90s. He was friends with a friend of mine, and she told me about the band Coal Chamber. I've never heard of them. I was way more into like the alternative rock scene. I was more downtown and Silver Lake before Silver Lake was hipsterville, So I was not really in the Hollywood area much. So I heard the name, but I wasn't familiar with the band and with the music. It just so happened that Meigs' girlfriend happened to be a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in years, and she just called me one day and she goes, my boyfriend needs a bass player for the band, and I think you can do it. I know you should do it. And I was like, okay, cool. And then she basically hooked us up, and he dropped off a CD and at the bar where I was working, Jumbo's Clown Room. I love Jumbo's Clown Room. It's still my home away from home. But he dropped off a CD and I listened to it, and it was definitely different than what I was doing at the time because I was playing more rock. And it was definitely more professional than what I was doing at the time. So I was like, cool, this is a challenge. I want to do this, And so I went in and auditioned and got the gig, And before I knew it, I was out on the road. So I transitioned from being in a local girl band in Hollywood to playing with these guys and going all over the world,
I mean, there's crazy crowds for this band all
Yeah.
over the world.
Absolutely.
What are some of the most intense crowds you've ever witnessed?
I think one of them was probably I think it was El Paso, Texas, because people were rocking our bus. And at one point, I was like, I wasn't sure if the bus was going to tilt over or not. So that was a little it's a bit scary. And I guess one time in Detroit at Harpo's, when we were playing, a kid jumped on stage and they're trying to push him off, and the stage is very high there. So when they tried to push him off, he grabbed onto my ankle, and I almost fell down with him into the pit. Yeah. But yeah, didn't happen, thank God. But yeah.
Amazing. Well, tell us about working with Des, because we know he's a bundle of energy. I mean, you guys are rocking so hard. What kind of creative person is he?
Well, he's very creative, and he's definitely, he knows what he wants, and he works hard and he works a lot, so I wouldn't want to be in his position, he definitely has a lot of stuff on his shoulders, I mean, to be, kind of like the middleman for everything, or the head for everything, so yeah, I don't know, I mean, we get along fine. It's like, what is it like, it's just,
I know this tour is just kicking off, but you guys had a great show last night. I heard.
Yeah, last night was the first show, and it was really good, actually. At first I had some nerves, because for me it was the first show in 13 years with the band. And I was like, fuck, am I going to remember these songs? Of course, I've known these songs for centuries at this point, but yeah, no, it went totally fine, Just like yesterday, it felt like no time has passed, really. It's very odd, but good. Hopefully tonight we'll feel the same way,
Yeah, it's good to get back in LA and have some sun, because I know you guys are probably going to get in some colder weather coming.
Yeah, not looking forward to that. I'm like an LA girl. I've been here for 22 years, and I don't even have warm clothes anymore, so I had to go shopping. And I bought a ski jacket. Hopefully that will do. And if not, I'm shit out of luck.
Good environment here. Now, obviously, this is a great package. You guys playing, with American Head Charge and Filter and everything. What advice do you give to the young girls or guys that are coming up in music? They want to rock these stages. They see these bands doing their thing. What do you tell them?
Don't do it. No. Don't do it. I don't know. I think, hopefully music will come back to how it used to be, where people are more passionate about it and actually play their instruments and play a lot of shows. And hopefully a lot of local venues will have more for local bands to do, because it's a lot of pay-to-play going on. And that's very challenging for musicians that don't have money or some sort of, backing. So I think, more organic stuff in the underground is probably going to come up. We have a lot of challenges with iTunes and downloading and blah, blah. But in a way, I kind of wanted to all go away. I wanted to go back to old school,
Sure.
Vinyl, CDs.
Yeah.
No more downloads. I'm guilty of it myself. I've done myself, but I still hate it.
Sure. What is the creative process like, with this group, as far as writing or recording,
With Cold Chamber?
Yeah.
Well, for this particular record, basically Mike, Meeks, and I locked ourselves into a rehearsal room in the Valley at third Encore Annex or something like that. And we just went in there and we jammed on some riffs, and fine-tuned them a little bit, and went home to Meeks' place, recorded in his studio, demoed them, and then sent them to Des, and then went back in, and we did that for like 3-4 months, and then we went into pre-production. And, at that point, we had no idea what the vocals would sound like, because we did all the music first. And once we did pre-production, we recorded the record, and then Des surprised us with the final product, and then it's been awesome. So.
Amazing stuff. And as far as when you travel around the world, what's the biggest difference between the audiences, like here in America or over in Europe or different places?
You may have to ask me that a little later, because it's been a while. I haven't been on tour in a different territory in a long time.
But going back in the day, what was the eye openers, or what was like you couldn't believe people were so similar?
Well, it really depends. Like we did really well in the UK many years ago, and it was crazy. People were lined around the block, and certain territories are just really good for us, and some places in Europe are very unfamiliar with us, so
yeah,
I don't know, but
it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, Europeans are a bit more colder, a bit more, we're not going to rock out.
So now, after Cold Chamber, what else do you look forward to doing? What's on your horizons?
After Cold Chamber, well, Cold Chamber's hopefully going to keep me busy for the next at least couple of years, before we write another record or whatever may come. Who knows? So
you don't know the end in sight?
No, I don't really know what's even going to happen tomorrow, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I'm just kind of...
What do you aspire
to do? I don't know. I don't even know musically what I would want to do after this right now. I did do some projects before this and between this. I do some singing. Maybe I'll get into that. right now I'm just focused on Cold Chamber, putting out the record, doing these tours. That's what my focus is. I'm not one of those people that can have many projects at once because my attention span problem is off the hook.
What tips do you give to the girls? Because this is obviously a man's world.
It is.
It's a very testosterone, business. What advice do you give to the girls to, conquer this business?
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, you have to have some tough skin to do this. You can't take anything personal, and you just got to rock and believe in what you do and do your best, and just show everybody up. Stand up for what you believe in always, whether it's music or not, doesn't matter. And just keep going at it, If people give you shit, knock them out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just like everybody else does.
Yeah, but it is definitely a man's world. But you just got to learn how to finesse that a little bit. I'm not always great at it either, so I'm not sure if I should be the one giving the advice.
Well, thank you so much for your
thank
time.
you.
Can't wait to see you on stage, and best of luck on the tour with the record.
Thank you so much.